Hello. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Monishka, and I welcome you for today's Let's Talk session about relying your life at 50. At the cusp of 50, relying your life may require more than merely doing some soul searching. With all the experience, knowledge, and skill gained at this age, one would expect it to be a smooth process. However, many people seem to struggle with midlife crisis around this time. To discuss it further, today we have Ms. Meeta Gutgutia, founder of Women Estate, co-founder of Ones and Matters, and Sipping Thoughts. In conversation with Ms. Archana Dutta, co-founder of Second Act, the sales insight of her
Founder.
determination. Sorry?
You said co-founder. She's a founder.
Okay. So I was talking about Ms. Archana Dutta, founder and CEO of Second Act. She shares insights of her determination to transform people's life through her immaculate vision and social works. And second is Ms. Smita Ojha, who is a homemaker. So over to you, Meeta ma'am, to take
Thank
the
you, Monishka.
discussion.
Excuse
Thank you, ma'am.
Monishka. This is her first attempt to introduce the show. So thank you, Monishka. I welcome Archana, welcome Smita. And to come to the point directly, you'll talk about why did you start Second Act. And Smita, all are on the group where the conversation started about one of our community member or like one of our friends, she asked 5 questions very directly that does this happen at the age of 50? Which we all kind of go through that phase, but that question again raised a lot of questions and everybody starts responding. So exactly my question or this conversation today is about men and women, they all go through midlife crisis. I'm not saying that only women go through, but since it's a women-centric platform and we are talking about women, and that's why we called Archana here, because she started Second Act, as the name said, and she will explain it further. And Smita, she took a long career break, and she again will speak about herself that she's again searching for a new journey, new purpose in life. So to you, Archana.
Hi, everyone. My name is Archana. Thanks, Meeta, for introducing me. And of course, I'm very excited to also hear Smita's point of view. So you asked me why I started Second Act. And literally, being in the corporate world, when I was hitting my 40s, like late 40s, I had this innate fear that I'll be thrown out of the corporate world. And though I was leading India in both the companies that I was working on a lateral, I did not think that I was good enough to do anything outside. So the fear of thinking that what will I do when I actually, don't jump up the ladder anymore, because the normal trajectory of getting promotions was literally getting over in front of my eyes. And there were only the senior positions which were done by, the foreign companies, like literally take over, people from outside. So I was saying, where will I be? So I think all this fear led me to find another way of like making my life worth. And luckily for me, it was my silence program, which gave me the courage. So I went for a silence program for 9 days. On the 10th day, I came and resigned. This was just before I was turning 50. And it's not a very easy journey to go through the process of feeling worthless to making it worth. So Second Act is that platform where you feel worthless for a while, but there's so much in us, which I have discovered in the last 3 years. So I think that is what Second Act is doing as a medium. And I'm very proud of it today, that it is my second act to literally touch people's lives and tell them you're so much worth it and you can do so much more.
So on the show, Archana, you have men and women both who you have interviewed more than 100 or almost 100 people. And they're mostly doing something as a second act in their lives. Am I right?
Yes. So Second Act actually started as a platform of doing transformational workshops like retreats and talking about why we are not able to do something or find out an innate talent or another version which is still lying somewhere. But along the way, when I was doing these workshops, I was also reading up about people who could actually break their barriers, do something about their lives. That gave birth to the Second Act podcast, where I thought that there are so many people there who have actually ventured out of their comfort zones or their space of like not feeling worth and then suddenly doing something which was different. So yes, Second Eye Podcast has 100 episodes, beautiful stories. People have come and shared more failures than successes, because every time when there is a fear or there is something that stops us, something better comes out of it. So yeah.
I'll come back again when you talk here about, try to remember the one story which is connected to women and which could be value addition or inspiring for other women, because it's not that you feel that I'm not the only one. There are others who are going through. I'll come back to you. In the meanwhile, let's ask Smita a similar question.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining in. And thank you, Meeta, for giving me this opportunity to be part of this session. And Archana, it's so nice to be here with you. I am so looking forward to some amazing tips so that I can rock at 50 myself. So, and the video that you shared, I was just looking you up on LinkedIn about lift your spirit up. It is so relatable, and there are days when we are so low on confidence, so it's like we have to gather ourselves up and then move on with life, because life's not easy at times. So coming to the topic, it's a very interesting topic, and when I sat down to prepare, I was just thinking about my parents. When I was in my 20s, they were in their 50s, and I realized that somewhere they are getting old, they are overwhelmed, and they are not as brave as they show themselves to be at times. But at that age, I was too young to understand. And now, when I am in the similar situation, I'm 50 plus, and I have two children, and I am more or less in the same space, but with the difference that I realize that this maybe is temporary, and this is not the end of life, and I need to figure it out myself. I cannot expect somebody else to get into my head and understand what's going on and try to sort things out with me. So that is the difference, and I consider myself a really privileged woman to be able to understand what's going on in my mind, and to have the courage to experiment, brainstorm, and get into sessions like these to figure out how I can take my life forward beyond the so-called prime years of our life. And I've always believed in the motto that age is just a number. So I always thought that midlife crisis will never hit me, but it did. And I have had my shares of lows and lack of confidence and all of that, but I would like to blame it on the menopause rather than the midlife crisis thing. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to this discussion.
Sorry, is it convenient to blame it to menopause? Like, does it really happen? Because we had a session long time back where we said men also go through menopause, so that's why men also feel that low phase in their lives. It's convenient to label that, okay, it is because of menopause.
No, everyone is suffering, I feel, Meeta, but I think it's more difficult for a woman because there are so many hormonal changes, body changes. I mean, mentally, obviously, people are suffering. Even men have their phases of midlife crisis. But for women, I feel it's been more tough for me personally, because there are so many things that are happening with you, and half of the things you're not aware. Why is it happening? You're bloating up. You're having unexplained bouts of depression. So that way, I found it tougher as a woman. But I'm sure there are equal challenges for men as well.
So, let me take Archana's view on this. Should we blame it to menopause, or should we blame it to just the emptiness, or because we don't have that much responsibility now?
I just feel blaming anything is just shying away from understanding what I can do better. So I don't believe in this concept myself of like blaming it to things. Menopause is also a situation which comes in our life, and there are lots of tools and tips these days to handle menopause in a certain way, whether it is breath work, breathing, certain kind of meditative moments, dance moments, therapies, whatever. There are ways to just handle everything today, I feel. How much are we willing to take that step to change it? So yes, menopause comes in a way. It does hamper our body in a certain way, our thought process, maybe some hormonal changes. But I feel because we are so aware, everybody's so aware of that it's coming. What can I do better? How do I engage? Can I do journaling? Can I do writing? Can I hear some music? I think that there are various things one can do to handle anything in life. So that's my 2 bits on everything that I feel that we go through. But it's so much easy to blame something outside of us.
So exactly, we are not, I take my words back. It's exactly, we are not blaming anybody, Smita. So yes, but we kind of, it's very all over the media, all over everywhere it is written, oh, it's menopause, it hits women. So that's why they go through this. But there's a lot more. I think we women, our generation have this existential
Existential. It's a very
question.
tongue twister word.
Yeah. So it's like I meet my friends, I meet many, many women who have never worked in life. They suddenly at 50 or around 50, when the kids are gone to college, that is the time because uske pehle tuition jana hai, bachon ki college admissions and boards hai, and you have too many things happening in your life. Suddenly I see that they are feeling totally, totally purposeless, directionless, and at that time they want to do something and they feel that where do I start from? And especially post COVID, there are so many women who have lost their husbands. They don't have kids, have grown up. You don't have the companion. So exactly, then they feel that where do I start from? So that is my worry or my question in my mind. Health, body, everything happens. It's a part of our changing with age. But that time exactly, what is there? I try to search for it. Okay, by communication, we can still inspire, encourage, show windows, but exactly they feel directionless. So what?
So, you know what? I've been reading a lot about women reaching out who are feeling in a certain way after, kids have gone out, or, the husband and wife don't get along anymore. Because I think once also the house is a little bit empty, you actually surface relationship. Because before that, there's so much to do, you actually don't even get to see each other. So I think there is so much that comes ahead of us as like, something transparent, something that you can see very, very clearly now. One is, of course, that I've not done enough for myself in my life, which I also felt many times, not because of relationship issues, but because of also reaching an age where kids were going out and I wanted to really make myself worth it. But at the same time, when women are writing, hey, I'm feeling lonely, even on Facebook, is there anybody whom can I have coffee with today? And I've seen so many writing back, say, hey, I'm in a similar situation. Hey, where do you stay? Let's grab a coffee. So I'm just saying, yes, things will surface, they will hit you at a certain time. But there is a lot of cohort, there is a lot of people in a similar space. All you need to do is probably reach out authentically, and somebody will hold your hand.
Yeah, sorry.
So that's what I've seen, and I'm very encouraged by this to say that we are aware of what we are going through. We are able to relate to it, and there's so many who are in the same process. All we need to say, I'm feeling vulnerable, help me, or like, be with me, or I just want to have a coffee with somebody. There will be somebody who will come.
Absolutely. Smita, what do you feel?
I'm just thinking out loud, Meeta, like for people like me, it's easier to admit that, I'm not in a good phase and I would like to connect. There are so many women who need to be really pushed and encouraged to come out with their feelings. So what about them? I mean, I'm lucky that I know I can pick up my phone and connect and figure out what I need to do. But there are so many of us which are not as privileged and not as outgoing. Maybe they see themselves as weak, or how will people react if I do that? It's for majority of us, I think it's not this easy. I may be wrong, but this is what I feel.
Most of the time we do not identify the feeling also. That is it the emptiness? Am I getting bored? Do I really want to do something? Or sometimes we just say, Acha, let's go to the go here or go there. We just while away time. I'm sorry, I'm again not judging anybody, but that is my and we just try to pass time, because taking bigger step like you started or you are planning to start, or I started women listed at this now. It's very scary. It's very, very scary to take a independent step. For job, you feel that I am like, as you said, Archana, that you feel that I will be irrelevant. Yeah. I do not know by just conversation, is it going to change, or it is something bigger that needs to be done, or something more directional that needs to be done?
Um, if you ask me, yes, definitely for everything, we have to consider ourselves work in progress. We cannot just give up on ourselves, because I think the easiest thing to do in anything is giving up. So I really truly believe that there are lots of things one can do. And I truly remember this quotation from Sadhguru whenever I am feeling in a certain way. He says, if you start enjoying your own company, you don't need anybody else. And I think that is another thing that stuck by me, that how do I create that company within myself, whether I'm reading a book, am I enjoying that book with myself? Or just going for a walk by myself, do I really need somebody? And also that I see so many women now sitting in a PVR cinema or in any cinema just watching a movie by themselves, and it's so amazing. So I think we are also stepping out and considering that, can I enjoy the space myself? Can I just get out? So you might not be privileged in the sense of having money, but maybe a sense of privilege because I can just go anywhere. But there are so many varied things that I can try. Maybe a yoga class, I don't know, because I think there are so many things available. So rather than just giving up and saying, hey, it's not for me and I won't be able to do it, why don't you try? I'm sure something will stick by you and something you will be able to take forward.
Where age catches up, that again at around 50, you feel that you have socialized a lot, you have done a lot of things, and this is the time you feel that you don't want to go out. You really want to sit in your bed, have your cup of tea or coffee and sit with your book, or you really become very choosy. So that is, again, I feel, rather than supporting to take something new, unless you are part of a big group and you say that 10 women are going, let me also go. It kind of detractor. It's like kind of, it stops you from what do you think, Smita? You are staying in Visakhapatnam for your daughter, away from home.
Yeah.
Given
In
enough
fact,
time
for
to
me,
look.
yeah, it was not midlife crisis. It was a, tsunami for me because I was displaced to a new place and I didn't know what to do. And to your point, Meeta, when you said that, people are wasting the time, I have been in that space.
I'm sorry
Like, there was
again.
a time.
Sorry.
No, no, no.
Uh,
No, no, I can so relate to it because, I want the audience to know that, it can be a situation because I had so much time on my hand and I was just taking up random workshops, random, sessions. And I used to get up 5 o'clock in the morning for one session, which lasted 2 hours. And that was a 21-day session. And I was so overwhelmed with so much to do and half the things I didn't want to do, right? Because I was just wanting to fill up those 24 hours or whatever hours I was free so that I don't think, I don't overthink, I don't overanalyze. So I've been in that space, but that helped me realize, okay, out of this, what I don't want to do, right? So it helped me zero down on things that, I like to meet people. So even if it's online, I would love to do that. I am a fitness freak. So even if it's online yoga, I will do it. Like to Archana quoted Sadhguru, in one of his videos, he says that if you're alone and you are not happy, that means you're in bad company. So, it's like very difficult for someone who's never spent time on oneself. So, normal women, what we do, like we are always working for the family, and suddenly we realize, we are not having the energy to give it all that we have. So we said, oh God, this was my job and I'm not able to do it because of physical reasons. So, and it's very important that alongside everything, you have a passion to follow. So that, when you are past your prime, you have something to fall back on. You can't, I'm not belittling family, commitments and everything, but your love for your family, should not come in the way for the love for yourself. Because just finding happiness in my family is good, but parallelly you have to think about yourself. Otherwise you'll reach a point when you don't know what to do with yourself, because you're getting up to make breakfast for family, you are picking up children, you are seeing your husband off and whatever XYZ. So I think this has hit me hard, that it's important to have passion to fall back on.
My realization, the difficult part is that the routine is there. If you want to be busy from morning to evening, There are enough and more to be done. But at the same time, there's a parallel thought keeps on walking with you that I am doing this, but this all what I'm wanting to do? Is this become very boring? Is this become very mundane or something? What am I doing with my life? So, and then next morning you get up again and you are again into your routine. Either you go and do something, read a book, socialize, do yoga, do whatever. But there's a nagging feeling in your head that something is like time is going by. Time is going by. I am 50. How many years more? Now the age is also increasing, but it's just that you feel I have just maybe 20 years more. What do I do? What did I do with my life? What do I want to do with my life? So those are the questions that nobody can answer to you. Aichna.
I'm sorry. I'll forget before. Then the movie 36 Chaurangi Lane is coming to my mind. I don't know how many of us have seen it. It's about a woman who's I'm sure 50, late 50s, and she's just looking out for people who can accept her in their lives. So it's a very sad tale of a woman who's all alone, who's looking for love and acceptance. She finds it temporarily, but ultimately, in the end, she's all alone. So I think that's the story of most of us. Archana, over to you. Sorry for interrupting.
It's a conversation.
Very interesting. So I agree with you when you said you must have some passion. But I think what's worked for me is that the minute that I started doing something for somebody else, it brought me a sense of purpose. So if in a day I have decided that, there will be at least 2 people I will offer some help to today, that is the most beautiful day that happens to be for me now. So I think so in the corporate world, you're used to so much that comes your way. When you're in a job, there is perks, there's money, that, you have the ownership. But I think there will be a phase in life when, we'll slow down probably. And that's the time I think there needs to be something as a give back. And I think that is working very well for me to design my life to now give, rather than even if I can, offer help through teaching, my staff kids, or, because I work in women empowerment and I have an NGO now, which I started, and, even looking up some things online, which they can stitch in the center and then creating something beautifully. I think it's just a matter of changing the narrative of expectation to give. And I think that also changes a lot of life purpose.
Absolutely beautiful. Aishna, but do you think that everybody has the same, like I know that just giving a free education to needy or getting up and working in the NGO is very, very, it's draining. You need to.
Yes. It is draining indeed. It is not easy. And because I also feel that the sense of gratitude, which we think, again, it's an expectation from this end to say, oh, but I'm doing so much for you. You're not even grateful. So these thoughts also cross you that I'm doing so much. I always tell these girls, I do so much, but you always complain. Why is that? And then I have to tune in to say, you just focus on what you want to do. Okay. And that is something that you need to answer. Let them take what they are taking from there. You need to stop expecting somebody has to be grateful or getting irritated because they're not in the same wavelength or in the same surface with you. So every day, it's like great idea to check into yourself to say, how are you feeling? What are you feeling? What did you actually stand out to do? What is the kind of impact you wanted to bring? So giving education was just one example. I'm saying define a day to create an impact in somebody's life or give a smile to somebody today. Define anything as a give back, I think, and that defines also a great purpose, a great existing, making your own life's worth about something.
So few people, I'm having a regular conversation with, I can't say I'm a mentor, I'm not a mentor, but it's just that because you have a cohort and you have talked to so many therapists, experts, and so just like people feel that is the platform we can connect with each other. I really see that somebody said that I feel like a piece of furniture in the house. It's just that how do you start? Because you become irrelevant. You're not needed anymore. The woman who is the center of action all her life, from getting married to raising kids, to school, to in-laws, parents. Suddenly she feels that all is done. And I never thought about what I wanted to do for myself because I never had time. And this sense of achievement or fulfillment, what you do for your kids or for your family, is always kind of a major drive for a woman. Suddenly, that root shock when it happens, that, oh, now what? I never thought like that. I am not needed anymore. So it's like, I have seen this very, and you're kind of trying to find a way out. Even somebody has space, she wants to do something. Somebody has something else. Somebody has a very evident talent, they want to do something. But it's just that you can talk, you can be some directional. But beyond that, I feel there's a lot of hesitance. There's a lot of not able to find that where do I start from.
Should I take that question then?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so yes, I agree at some point that you feel like that, but I also feel that we are responsible for creating that space for ourselves. While we are playing different roles, again, we are just giving into those roles, not defining something for ourselves, which I call as self-love or self-care. And I think that's very important for women. And I think a very big part of that is also being financially independent. We create our self-worth when we are earning money. I can tell you, I left my corporate job and then there was a lull for 7 months. The way I felt, in those 7 months, I had never felt before in my life. I felt so worthless, as if my life has finished. And somebody who's coming from a privileged background, I didn't have to earn for my family. I didn't have to make two ends meet. I mean, everything's so comfortable, but I still felt I'm not worth it. And that's why actually Second Act started. Because when I started to define my life, I started to define a purpose behind it. I really worked hard on telling myself, you know what? It's so important for women to take decisions. We always just let somebody else decide for us. Even the roles that we play are decided by somebody else. And I think we need to have a very conscious decision of always holding money, and that also creates a lot of self-worth and a lot of self-acceptance. And I think all women, in whatever manner they can, they should always think of, how do I hold money? And I'm going to talk a lot about it because that has impacted my life the most.
Absolutely. So rightly you said that it's tangible. You know that you need to have this to and if you think about by this conversation, if we start acting on it, that tomorrow I know that I am heading there. So if I should be taking care of these. So the journey gets easier. The realization is not so harsh. Yes, Smita.
I'm just thinking, Meeta, that all our life we have been working. So should 50 or after 50 be the age when we just want to relax and follow our passions? Or should we keep pushing ourselves that, I have to start my second act, I have to be financially independent? And, I mean, I am actually confused because I was speaking to a friend and, she said that it's not that somebody makes you feel that you're financially dependent on them, but inside, you feel, oh God, yeah, I haven't been putting in enough, in the finances to run the house, etc. Nobody's saying that to you, right? You have the privilege, luckily, that, somebody is supporting your lifestyle without you having to work. But what to do with that nagging feeling of, there's a longing, to do something grand, something big all the time. I mean,
if I put it myself in that situation, we have self-worth issues. We feel that we are not bringing money home and we are just taking. It's a hand down. I'm taking. The role has always been clearly decided. As long as it's like there's no trouble. There's no trouble in your marriage, or there's no humiliation or any situation where you feel like that. You have to tell yourself, because it's a self-worth issue in us, that I am not doing something which is tangible. Again, I'm using tangible word a lot today because what we do, we always kind of discount it, ki ye to koi bhi kar lega. There's a very common story that's been circulated that when a wife died, somebody asked the husband, "Oh, how are the kids? Oh, I kept a nanny. Oh, how are you? Who's taking care of the food?" So we always compare ourselves with nannies and the cooks and everything. Secondly, I also kind of there are times when I feel that I really want to serve society. I really want to earn money, or I really want to live in an environment where it's healthy for me, where there's no pollution. You have to evaluate, you have to kind of figure it out, that which is, like, all three are okay, there's no right and wrong. It's just that, where do I want to be? Like, if you start writing it down again and again and again, you will get your answer somewhere. And there's no right and wrong in any of it, and nobody else can give you answer that, no, Smita, you should work, or Meeta, you should work, or you should go and live in nature somewhere, or start a podcast. It's just that it's our own calling. I'm sorry, I'm speaking. Maybe something is very close. This topic is very close to my heart, that I want to listen to audience also today, and I will want everybody to switch on the cameras if you can, because then you feel more connected. And this is a story in most of women we have seen or heard or experienced in our lives. So
I think I want to add something here.
yes, Archana.
Most of the times, women are just surrounded by their own guilt. And the minute that we shed away that guilt, it's again, everything is a mindset. So I'll give you an example. So when the kids were younger, of course, being a very stereotyped wife and a mother, if the kids were younger, if they cried, I used to run out of the room, taking them, that got, like, my husband should not get disturbed, right? And after so many years of, like, being the mother and the wife that I was expected to be, I've come to a position, especially because I work a lot on women now, that I actually opened my mouth and said, sorry, this I won't do anymore. This is your responsibility. And I've stopped feeling guilty of not being a perfect wife or a perfect mother. That I am busy, and maybe today the dinner will be made by you. And I'm as upfront and as direct like that. In the beginning, there was a lot of resistance. Oh, what happened to mother? Or what happened to Archana? Like, she is suddenly, having, a lot of voice. And but eventually they just came around, and then now it's normal. Now we just divide. So we cannot delegate because we are so guilty of, like, wanting to be the best, or we are stereotyped to be like, oh, as a mother, she's not expected to do this. So I think delegation, stopping to feel guilty about everything that you're not able to do, is completely okay. I think we need to just drop our own hats in our own eyes. I think that's what we need to do. We don't have to be perfect everywhere.
But it again needs a lot of courage and training to be.
Yes.
It's not easy.
You shuffle things, but eventually, I think, as long as you're doing it right and you're able to be a positive person at home, a person who can actually bring the family together in a certain way, I think it will come around. It's just the way that we have to do it at home.
Absolutely. So the newer generation, the equation have changed. They divide work, but our generation, again, we are coming from a little confused or shifting generation where we are wanting to shift a lot of things. So let me invite Shruti ji. Hi, Shruti ji, how are you? Rohit, unmute her, please. Hi, welcome, everybody. It's good to see faces.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much, Meeta ji. I'm so glad I joined this because this is the phase I am going through. And as Archana ji just said, I'm very confused. And I was actually thinking that I've become useless and nobody needs me. And I'm so glad to hear that I'm not the only one who's feeling. All of us. I've just turned 56. I've worked all my life, but right now I don't feel like doing anything as in, like, anything. I have worked all my life. Of my 35 years of marriage, I have worked, but I don't feel like doing anything. I'm so glad I joined this, and I really need an answer of what to do, how to go about it. And I am just feeling very lost. And at this age, feeling lost, and I so agree with Archana ji that we are all the time out to prove ourselves, to be a good housewife, to be a good mother. And I don't even want to do that. It's like right now I'm in that phase that I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what my husband thinks about me. I just want to lead my own life, but I don't know. I'm just waiting, looking for that path for myself. I don't know when it's going to come. So I'm so glad I'm joined this today. Thank you so much, Meeta.
No, thank you. So, to learn music, or you want to play music, and
Yeah.
um, so this U curve hypothesis. This is where you kind of you are very very busy and positive, and then you kind of when around 50 you feel totally rejected, and rejected also is not for everybody, but you feel that I've done it all and I am tired. Most of the time we say that, okay, I am tired now, I just want to take a break. After the break, then you start figuring out that I really, what do I want to do? um, so different thing for different people. Maybe you have worked all your life. So if I am you, I think I would take up something, whether as a hobby, as a give back, or as a sideline career or something. But I know that I will not be okay about completely being. But yes, I can give myself a gap year of 5 years or so, or 10 years or so. How many years? So it could be a gradual process. But what I feel that it's temporary, and that's my take. Archana, Smita, anybody you want to?
Yeah, what Shruti shared, and what Ashna had said earlier, I think the guilt is within us, I'll share a very small example. Whenever I'm fasting, every 15 days I'm fasting, and I used to make sure that I make breakfast, lunch, dinner for my daughter, because if I didn't do it, I'll feel guilty that, I am fasting and I'm not feeding her. So one day she asked me, she said, why do you take the trouble? I'll order from outside. I said, no, I don't want to. I want you to because I'll feel guilty. She said, it's an opportunity for me to eat out, so just chill. So at times, we are feeling guilty for something which the other person doesn't even perceive it as such a big thing. So, and it's not one of situations. Every day, there are so many thousands of situations. We feel that, I am contributing in this way to my husband or wife or child or grandparents or whatever. But how they value you and they value that particular thing,
And maybe it doesn't
that
matter to them. Maybe they don't
exactly
by doing this, but
Ex-
you are doing something which is like it is bothering you also. It's like for them that
exactly.
yeah.
I
So
had attended a session long back. Sorry for pitching in. She said that, I used to love ironing my husband's shirt before I left for work, keeping his things on the table. And then once we had a fight and I shouted, like, I'm doing everything for you. I'm ironing this. She said, who told you to do it?
mhm.
You are making me incapable of doing my own stuff. And then you are telling me that I'm doing it for you. Stop doing it. So at times we feel that we are doing so much, but that's not what they want,
Needed.
or
That's
that's not valued.
yeah.
So
Nafisa,
yeah,
wanted
Archana.
to add something to in this context. Nafisa, please go ahead. I can't see you on the screen.
Yeah, unmuted, ma'am.
Yeah. Please unmute everybody, Rohit.
Okay. So, thank you, Meeta, for giving this opportunity. And I would like to talk something about setting boundaries. Setting boundaries will help you very much, what I feel, because when my daughter was very young, when she used to just go to, she was doing her schooling, at that time only I set boundary that this is 2 to 4 is my time. I don't want anyone to disturb me on this time. So when I told her that, to this age also, when she is 30, she has that in her mind that mommy has got her time 2 to 4 and I cannot disturb her in that time. So whenever she wants to ask something, she'll always ask me, mommy, can I ask you? Can I call you? So that permission she takes from me is not that I'm a mother and I'm available every time, each time for her. So from very beginning, I've set boundaries for my something, for other relatives also, for my husband also, for myself also, because I tend to look after myself first. I have that feeling that I will be with myself to the last day of my life. Till the last day of my life, I will be the only the person who will live with myself. So from very beginning, I feel that to set boundaries will help a lot, because we never say people who are near to us that I'm not available for this time or this.
No, absolutely. That is so true, Nafisa. But what happens, there are many times we are so busy that we do not realize that, okay, when are we just kind of just living in that flow, doing one thing after another? So absolutely, you're right. So
And
thank you.
secondly, that self-love will help a lot of things. Then that feeling of I'm not needed now, that feeling comes because we are not able to love ourselves first. Like we don't find time for taking care of ourselves. We don't tend to ourselves first, and we just move about taking responsibilities of each and every one in our family and doing things for each and every one. But whatever we feel for ourselves, we don't do it first. Today, if I want time 2 hours for myself, I won't take out that time for myself. But if somebody asks me to come and accompany them for that 2 hours, I'll go and do it.
So when my daughter was younger, I used to go to the market thinking that I need to buy this, and every time I used to come back holding bags for my children and nothing or hardly anything for myself. So that you realize that this is you kind of unknowingly do things for. Let me invite Nirja also. Thank you, Nafisa ji. Nirja, Rohit, unmute, please.
Yeah, ma'am. Anyone can unmute.
Okay. Let me take Chandra. Hi, Chandra.
Hi, it's a question. It's not like, if I can start with a new question, I posted in the chat as well. So while many of us are privileged to have an option of like, taking that break or a retirement at 50, but there are many like me who don't have an option of, because we still have mouths to feed. And, but then you're so tired of doing things. So it's a midlife crisis of a different manner. It's like when you really want to take a break, but unfortunately you don't have that option. So what I'm feeling right now is that I'm tired of doing things. Though at a personal level, I've started taking, tried speaking to a life coach or tried to do my meditation, but somewhere when you're like, it seems that you're sapped out of your energy and you wonder how will you manage the next 20, 30 years of your life, because somewhere that energy, that positivity of having that courage to face everything is just gone down. So I would like to have some more comments on it, because while self motivation and everything is there, but there is a point in time when you feel tired. You really don't know, because you might have a support system, but you're so tired of taking support from them as well. So how do you keep yourself motivated at this point is my question.
I can say that I think it's equally difficult for men. I also hear this from my husband a lot, saying that I want to actually stop, but I can't. And my advice to him has always been that it's tiring, yes, it is a lot of responsibility, to make sure that the house running fine, the kids are studying at a proper place, or whatever. The life has to have also enough security so that you can actually take out time and then not do anything. But the idea is not to stop or not to retire. The idea is to enjoy what you're doing. And I think that we need to invest in. There are lots of things when we are expected to do, and I will also talk from my personal experience, like even taking a coach. I'm glad that you are. But if somebody, and this is a very important thing to do, everybody should have a coach, because that's your accountability partner. But more often than not, people say, oh, I don't have the money to spend. I cannot do that. I always feel that rather than saying, thinking that it's a spending and an expenditure, it's an investment on oneself. And I think we need to change that mindset as well, that whatever we are earning, we need to start putting some money aside on investing on ourselves, whether it is taking a break and going on lots of women retreats. So I do women retreats as well. So I know the importance of doing women retreats. Just going out and just being yourself for some time, whether you are also, doing different things like Meeta said. So investment is extremely important so that you don't feel drained all the time. You have to switch off. You have to get away, whether it's your solo trip, going out, shutting yourself off for 1 week to say, once in a week to say, today is my off day. I'm not going to do that. And setting boundaries, which was said, I think we need to create our own world. And I think that is important. Just that I think we just need to start working on it and it happens. So rather than saying, how will I do it? Take the first step.
Absolutely. So, Chandra, I want to add something, and I totally agree with it, because that gives you time to think that exactly what am I feeling this, why am I feeling this feeling, and then you come back like you have watered your plant kind of feeling you get. And sometimes I feel that when we are into some job or some career where we feel that our existence, our identity is so attached to the job we are doing, that the moment we put the brake, suddenly my identity will not be my identity. So it's not all the time it is because of financial. I feel I cannot connect myself. Though I am tired, I get tired, but I feel disconnected if I am not doing something, because all my life I have worked. And there's another situation where you feel that whatever you like, I have people in my life who are not working and who are working. I look at them and I look at some Instagram photo and I say, oh my God, they are traveling there. Oh my God, they're doing this. Oh my God, they're wearing the nicest of the clothes. You will always feel that what you are not doing is better. You are missing out. So that is the answer that you have to find. And if you make peace with it, it answers your questions or not. But as Archana said, that's very, very important to nurture yourself in between. Very important.
May I speak, Meeta?
Yeah, please.
I had a call at that time. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Actually, I've been listening to this very intently, and I really, I'm thankful that I had been part of this. As I had mentioned in the chat also, like I've completed 61 now. But I've worked for quite a number of years, 58, and from last 2 years, 3 years, I have been off job. But then it had affected me, mentally. I wanted. There are times, when I feel I don't want to take up any hectic job or something, or just want to be at peace with myself, doing what I want to do. But then also I have felt, when I want to take up content writing, or when you want to take up some more challenging jobs, as somebody had mentioned in the chat also, that technology has budged in, like we women of our age or people of our age, they are not so savvy with the technology nowadays. You wish to learn also. But somewhere I feel, like you need to do something till the time. I'm one person, who always wanted to do something till the time I just closed my eyes to go to the Lord. But then there are times when you want your own time, when you want to wish whatever you want to do, you wish to do that, not like taking up a hectic job or just relaxing, watching your favorite serials or just reading. Or I in fact love to move out also, but then I do have some financial constraints also. We hopefully that will be over. But then this program has been, this talk show has been very, very helpful for me. I'm greatly impressed by all what has been shared, and especially by you, Meeta. Whatever I have heard about you, I've seen your latest that interviews thing, and how you struggle. But then what happens when you are with women of your age, or even younger to you, going through the same phase. You get an incentive, you get a push that there are other people around you who are facing the same challenges, and you get to know what you need to do, how you need to figure out your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Nirja. Nirja, what I can say that like 4 years back, I was not 5 years back, I was not working anything on laptop. I was totally into events and flowers where technology was not really needed that time. So I'm talking about 6 years back. I also thought that I don't like to work on this dabba. I hated, I needed, because I'm a creative person, I needed personal interaction, working with my hands. But when the need came, I learned everything. Now I can't manage without this. And how I am connected with you all is because of this technology. It's a huge, beautiful community. we just feel scared to tell somebody that I am 58 or 50 or 62 or and I don't know this. Do I feel very like we feel very, very scared. It's just that क्या होगा, दो मिस्टेक होएगी, दो आपका कंटेंट गलत होएगा. आप YouTube में इतनी वीडियोस हैं. I have learned a lot from YouTube. Nowadays podcast is coming in trend, so but I learned a lot and a lot and a lot by watching videos. It's just that I feel कि there are certain कुछ भी डालो Facebook में डालो कहीं डालो. I feel that something needs to be, and for content I can personally tell you that if you want to connect and write, we will handhold you and we will kind of guide you that, and we will absorb your content. So, but like I'm not saying that it is only me who can do it. There is enough and more that you can do it by yourself. So Archana, Smita, anybody you want to add something here? That was my perspective.
Yeah, Meeta, like you know, in when the lockdown hit, I could not even make a video on my phone. I was that technologically challenged. But when the connectivity was lost and nobody can't connect except from the phone or through the laptop, so you know, I sought the help of my children. I asked them how to do it, and now my daughter teases me that you're more savvy on the Insta than me. So it's just that we are hesitant to seek help. I feel. We feel कि people say कि 50 years की हो गई ये भी नहीं आता है. So I am past that stage. I am shameless totally, and I say I don't know this. Please teach me. So I think that helps.
It's like
helped me, I guess.
reminding me that Sridevi sitting in that movie. What was that movie? That Laddu, where she was.
English.
She went and she sat in the class. It's like
Yes.
It's just that we have to get over our fear. Quickly, we want to take Lata. Hi, Lata ji.
Hello, Meeta. Hello, Smita. Great to see all of you.
Hi.
And always good topics to discuss. So I'm 70 actually, way past 50. So I have also a lot of, experience in life. And unfortunately, it's very true, what you all were saying, that women somehow, men just keep a cook and an ayah and they are very happy. And I've seen in my personal life also, I know some guys who got married within 3 months of their wife dying, which is very sad, really. So I feel as a woman, you have to do your own thing. You have to live. I'm not saying for yourself, but you have to do things which make you happy. And at 50, people talk of retiring, but I feel that's a time when children have grown up and you need something to do, it leaves a big vacuum in your life. So maybe you're bored of your job, but you should do something to keep yourself occupied. Otherwise, life becomes very difficult. So that's all I wanted to say. Maybe more, but for the time being, this much.
Thank you, Lata.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's like nobody wants to tell somebody else that this is, but our personal experiences are the like kind of, it tells you that, okay, I am doing this or I am doing this. You can take your own messages. So yeah, Ichno, then we have just 10 minutes left and
I want to say that, women have this power of when they are determined to do something, they will. And I can only tell you from an example of my 21-year-old daughter now. And there's a lot, I think, Meeta, also you who has a young daughter, and I'm sure that, many of us are here, that this is such a determined generation. They are so much about, mom, I don't know why you do this to why you do that. And raising awareness, not only for, of course, themselves, but also for us. So one day my daughter decided to turn vegan, and I always told her, and this is 6 years ago, and I always told her, why must you do this? We have to do so many things because of, turning around how we cook to what we eat. And I said, why would you just put yourself to such hardship? Because India didn't have so many options now, but at that time, 6-7 years ago, but now, of course, it's different. And what she said to me just stuck by me. And she said, because I cannot fall in my own eyes. This is what I have decided as a give back, and I will do it. And I really see this power of women deciding to do something, and they will do it. So once you've made up your mind that I will be tech savvy, there is nothing that can stop you. So go for it.
I totally agree with you, Ajay. Smita, इसमें
Yeah,
एक हिंदी की लाइन होती है ना कि डर के आगे जीत है. Believe me, I really worked on myself in terms of with changing profession to changing, learning newer things all my life. So I really believe that if you want to do it, you can do it at any age. Yes, Smita.
I think, Meeta, it's only difficult to take the first step. We are just scared to take the first step. I'm not saying this theoretically because I've experienced it myself. Being in a new city when you don't know the language, I was literally, picking up the threads and moving on. And I'm like, shit, yeah, I'm so old. Why am I facing such problems? So once you decide that this is a project and you have to go on with it. So life is also a project, If it's thrust on you, you are clueless. But if you plan, I think we can make a much better life out of all this, And what I have felt, whenever I'm feeling disturbed or overwhelmed, I just let go. I mean, let go as in totally let go. I would not move a thing. I would just sit with my phone and while away 3-4 hours, just like that. Either meditate or do whatever I want, and it really helps you. At this point, I don't have time to go to retreats or connect with my friends. But these are small, small tricks where, I just, kuch nahi karungi, Maharaj, it's my holiday. So, and it really works, believe you me. And such short breaks, if you take it regularly, I think it helps you clear your mind and you're more at ease with yourself and your thoughts. That's what is very important because the problem arises when we have time and our thoughts are running on in our head and we are not ready to accept them.
छोटे होते थे तो पेरेंट्स बोलते थे खाली दिमाग शैतान का घर. It's like actually that I believe in, that I'm not saying go back to career, but if I am sitting empty at home, my mind will start focusing on anything which is not okay. This somebody said this, somebody did this. So it's like khali dimag shaitan ka ghar. So something has to be done with our lives without any judgment. Either you read, if you don't want to do anything but read at least this much. And dementia and all these aging issues are increasing like anything. So we have to be mentally occupied. That is, I strongly feel.
And with the one interesting thing I discovered while I was preparing for this, I'm a dancer and I've been dancing for 15, 20 years before that as well. Now I'm realizing that I can't do this forever because my knees are going to give way. So I'm so focused on this passion that I'm now thinking, God, if this goes away from my life, I have to start things which I can do for the next 20, 30 years, if I live for that long, that is. So we need to keep, brainstorming and reinventing our passions also, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. No, every few years there's something new, something changing. Nothing is
exactly.
So
Can anybody tell us if there are any courses, because I feel life is a learning game and it's always good to keep learning something. Somebody was saying there are a lot of free courses.
No, so I learned whereby my interest is. So maybe public speaking, maybe learning SEO, SMO, like whatever my interest area is, like maybe understanding color theory better. So it's like whatever you are interested. Once you go on YouTube or any platform, whether it is Udemy or what is the other one, Archana? Udemy and Coursera. And
Yes.
go anywhere, go on YouTube. It's like it's lot many courses there. Small videos that will, yeah. So
mind your language on some English.
All of you are on our WhatsApp group. So we have a WhatsApp group of working women. We have a Let's Talk. So I think 2-3
Yes,
groups.
yes, we are there.
Yeah. And I am planning to come again with the conversation on women, whether they want to work or they do not want to work. How do you evaluate career in your life? That so what do you want to do? Do you really want to start a business or something? Very soon I'm coming with the topic, and as I said, that please suggest more topic. It will help us curate topics, which is somebody or other. Anybody who's writing, we are ready to take the content. We will handhold. We will navigate. So please connect with us for that, and hopefully we all find our purposes again in life. So, Archana, what is your last?
I feel lucky that you're a woman. You have so much warmth and passion and comfort. I think we are just born very lucky. Just make the most of it and smile a lot. that's all. I think life's to be enjoyed and feeling a sense of joy. Let's not try to see what other people's lives are and, consider ourselves less than anybody else. We need to make the most of what we have. And I think we have the power to do that.
Absolutely. Very well said. Smita, what's your takeaway?
Yeah, I will just say that don't push, push will be, don't panic, don't underestimate yourself, don't sulk because that's not going to lead us anywhere, and don't hesitate to acknowledge and start afresh. So once we value ourselves, once we realize that, we may need to reinvent the life that we've all lived for so long, 40, 50, 60 years. So I think that determination to make a change and move on, I think that's within us, but we don't just realize it. So somebody needs to, just get the inner nari out of us and show the world that, we can start fresh at 50, 60, 70, whatever is the age. So, I mean, it's a beautiful community, and it's so nice that so many people shared this time. It was a lovely session, Meeta. Thank you so much.
We know that what is the conversation on our groups that kind of gives us an idea. That's why I say that please let us know that what you want to talk about. That helps. And my take is that we will always be in regret. If we are doing this, there will be another regret. If we were doing that, I chose from fashion to flowers, from flowers to media to a community. But there is always, I feel that, oh, wish I could do work in flowers more. So it's like always, if I was working in flowers, I would be missing this, and enjoy the journey. We are, as Archana also said, we are in a beautiful space. And women, we always kind of think that, okay, we are less, we are no less. We are emerging women, we are powerful, we are getting more aware in our heads and in our actions. So on that note, thank you, Archana, thank you, Smita, thank you, everybody. Please participate more and more and more, because it adds value to everybody, to us also, because listening to you help us.
Yes.
Thank you, Meeta.
Thank you. See you next week.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Meeta.